Yo, what's up, everyone? What it do? And welcome to another episode of Game Chat. It's your boy Zig here. Got C Diesel, Lelouch B, my brothers. How y'all doing, man?
I'm doing straight, bro. Middle of the season, I'm enjoying it. Good basketball's being played right now.
By who?
Everyone, honestly. I don't think.
Don't say the Lakers.
When we just came off, we just lost. We was on a 5-game streak.
Yeah, don't go to his defense, man. It's been a while.
You better not
the
say
Lakers
shit
are
to
not
me.
looking good.
We didn't get 70 dropped on us, so I don't want to hear shit from you.
Hey, look, man. Donovan Mitchell scored like 40 of them. I give him that, but the ref scored the other 30.
Y'all put a 5-game winning streak together and come talk to me.
He scored 50 of them, and then the ref gave him another 20.
Yeah.
Definitely dropped it.
Okay. I like that better. I like that.
They couldn't stop the 50, so it is what it is to me.
I have said on record though, I'm scared of the Cavs. Like the Bulls, we beat good teams. I'm just not trying to play the Cavs. I'll play the Bucks. I'll play the Nets. I'll play Boston. Nah, Cavs. I'm good on that.
Because that game was no Mobley and no Garland, right? Like
they're scary, man. They're scary. That's why I don't want to play Cleveland. I'll play anybody else. Cleveland. Mm-mm.
Y'all gotta get healthy, bro. I don't. Y'all be so wishy-washy. One night I'll watch the Bulls one night and be like, damn, y'all look like a competitive playoff team. And then the next night I'm like, damn, these niggas not making it out the first round.
It's all Zach, bro. When Zach looks good, the team looks great. When Zach looks shitty, the team looks regular as fuck.
And that's all we need, Zoe. We need Zoe, man. We need Zoe back. Because Zoe and Caruso together playing defense is going to cover up a lot of mistakes. Kobe actually being able to develop. We have in crucial times, players get hurt. Kobe didn't have an offseason because he got hurt. Finally gets an offseason, comes back. He looks a lot better. And that's saying something. So, I mean, it's just, we need to get healthy. We need to get healthy because Lonzo, with that team with Lonzo, man, it looks totally different. And it's crazy that one player can change a team that much.
Y'all better hurry up before the East get too deep because the East looking like it's getting deeper and deeper out of y'all reach every year.
Yeah, I agree. And it ain't going to be this season. This season, we just need maturity out of the team that we have. We need to get out of the first round of the playoffs, and Zach needs to actually play. Like that's what I want out of this season. I just want to get out of the first round of the playoffs. That's all I'm asking.
Good luck, my boy. Y'all better because what's he doing right now?
10th. And we're winning. Like we need to keep winning 3, losing 1. That's what needs to keep happening. We lost a tough one yesterday. Why? Because of some tough decision making by my boy Zach LaVine. But
y'all don't get home court advantage and y'all playing Philly or the Bucks. Y'all cooked in the first round. I'm sorry.
See, I'm not worried about the Bucks, man.
Right now, y'all playing Boston or Brooklyn.
Good luck. Did he beat y'all 4-1 last year?
Yeah. But Caruso was strapping up Chris Middleton and he got hurt. But then we didn't have no Zach either. I'm telling you, we could beat Boston or we could beat Milwaukee. No, we can.
You're trying to beat Boston though.
Y'all not beat.
Yeah, see, Boston's tough, but Boston hasn't beat us yet this year. I think they beat us once. Yeah, they beat us last time we played them, and Jason Tatum just went off. But I mean,
I'm sorry, y'all not beating any of the top 4 teams right now.
But we have been.
And I don't trust
the series though.
Not in the series.
Because number one right now is Boston, and I don't have y'all taking them. Number 2 right now is Brooklyn, and if KD doesn't come back, then y'all got them, of course. But if KD's back,
that's like the best matchup for y'all. I don't even know if y'all stopping KD.
Yeah,
I'm not stopping KD.
I mean,
Patrick Williams didn't have to stop KD.
Yeah, no, we ain't stopping KD, but it's like it ain't even about stopping KD. It's stopping the rest of them.
You're not doing that either. You're not stopping Kyrie.
But we have been.
Who's stopping Kyrie on that team?
But we have Caruso, freaking.
Is he healthy right now?
Yes, nigga. But if we played him in the playoffs, yeah, nigga, we have wings to throw at Kyrie. Like that's Kyrie's.
We had wings to throw at Kyrie too, and you saw what happened.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wings to throw at that nigga, but
yeah, man. Look, all I'm saying, I ain't saying it's gonna be easy, but you got to show me you can get out the first round of the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. That's what I want to see.
If y'all could somehow make it to that 5th seed, I could see your chances of getting out the playoffs better.
I ain't even saying that.
I need 5 seed. If y'all don't get 5,
if you can't get me out the first round, you got to get me 2 wins. Like you got to give me 2 wins, bro. Because we got one against Milwaukee last year. We won one. It was tough. We won that shit. We played defense. Best defense I've ever seen them play.
That was minus Chris, yeah.
Okay, we still have minus Zach.
Hey, bro, the way Giannis playing with all these double teams he's had this year, I don't know. Buddy, like he just getting better and better because he's the most double team player in the NBA. And in these games where he's not scoring, he's getting triple teamed, he's still getting these dubs.
Yeah, he just had like a 7-point double. Yeah, that was nice.
Getting triple teamed all game, and they still won because he had 10 assists and was just blocking, like playing ridiculous defense.
Yeah, that's really Giannis's game. Everything else is icing on the cake. The fact that he can run through people and score points is icing on the cake.
Like, so I'm saying y'all gotta focus on him, and then you gotta somehow stop Brooke from getting 20, Drew from getting 20. And you got to hope nobody else gets hot.
All right, somehow stop Brooke from getting 20. Like, okay, Brooke, if Brooke is hitting,
Brooke Lopez shot. This year y'all don't have anybody that can guard him. I'm sorry, y'all don't. Not a soul.
Nope. Nigga, well, yeah, because who do we have? Vucevic and fucking Drummond. Like, that's tough.
Y'all got to send both of them at Giannis.
And that's if Drummond don't foul up because
he fouled shit. Yeah, I've been told you about that though. When you decided about him this preseason, I said, don't count on that nigga, bro. But I tell
you, look, man. It's
like,
really...
let's bring him to the Nets. Like he be fouling. I'm like, no, you do not want that nigga there, bro. I'm telling you.
I just want to get some rebounds.
Bro, and he can do that. He can do that. But man, everything else, I'd be like, Drummond, bro.
Running for a quarter before you foul the fuck out.
He'll get 10 rebounds in that one quarter.
You're gonna do contest. Like, don't contest, bro. Just stand up, fall, rebound. That's all you
reach. He can't help it. He don't got no discipline on defense, bro. I swear to God. I watched it in LA. I'm like, this nigga just
stand right outside the painted area, close your eyes, and put your hands up, bro.
Hey, look, man, hold up. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna keep talking shit about my Bulls now, okay? I can talk shit about them. Y'all can't.
I'll take the shade at my Warriors. There's plenty of shade to throw. Go ahead.
I mean, shit, man. I can't, bro, because it's just I like the way it's sit.
I'm gonna just say I called it about the young players needing time. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. You fought me so adamantly on that shit in the preseason. I called that shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I thought they would be better equipped this season than they were, and they weren't. And then, I mean, of course, starting off minus DiVincenzo hurt that second unit even more. Starting off without JaMychal Green, Iggy just now played for like the first time in like 3 years.
Are y'all still counting on Iggy? Yeah, I was about to say y'all still counting. Yeah. Buddy is like decrepit at this point.
Remnants of the dynasty.
He just played against the Suns when we lost.
How many minutes did he play?
Like 8.
Y'all missing Otto Porter and Gary Payton. I'm sorry. Y'all need.
We are Otto Porter specifically just to be a bigger body that can stretch the floor. And then GP2 just to contest against those guards because like man, Jordan Poole he tries defensively some plays, but like bruh, like he doesn't have it yet. Like you could tell.
Yeah, he follows. He's like,
and then it's turnover machine, bro. A turnover machine.
Yeah, I don't because that system is really weird. Like y'all gotta kind of reconstruct it because y'all still trying to run it the way y'all were running with Steph, where he's running off ball and shit. But Jordan Poole isn't like this doesn't fit his play style to run off ball and keep off ball like that.
Yeah, I mean, but so Steph is back now, so we good.
You said what?
Steph is back, so you just got to get back into rhythm. And Wiggins is back finally because he missed pretty much the entire season.
Yeah, I needed that nigga, boy. I needed that defense
bad. He's our best wing defender, and I mean. When he went down and then Kuminga went down too, like no wing defense. That's why Mikal Bridges just like balled out on us again. Like
he is so disgusting, bro. I hate and love him at the same time because he just be torching any wing. If you don't got no wing defenders, he just eating you up.
I mean, it's just like they were minus Book, minus CP3, minus Ayton, and minus Cam Johnson, and they still just bust our ass, bro. Like. But it's Steph's first game back, but still, bro, I didn't like that.
Yeah. As long as he can go into the playoffs healthy, I'm not doubting y'all get out the first round. After that, I don't know, G. Depending on who y'all play.
It's tough.
Because y'all play Denver. Now, I still think Denver is gonna like have y'all number if y'all play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jokic is really hard to guard, and then like we could hone in on him last year just because there was no
anyone
Murray.
Pretty much. Anybody. MPJ, no Murray. I think Aaron Gordon played.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon played. He's been their Iron Man, honestly. Like him and Jokic just played a lot of games together, and you can tell them their chemistry. Like they play really well off each other. I give them credit for that, man. But it's just great that literally every night, like, you just see good teams playing each other. Like, I can't think of the last time I was excited to watch a Sacramento game, but they're good.
They've been, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I think the NBA is an amazing place right now, but I think some people are gassing it. Like, scoring numbers are up, and there's a lot of teams that are scoring, but there's not too much different than the NBA, like, in recent history. As far as, like, everybody being able to beat everybody on any given night, most of this talent will still here. It's just that the talent that is on the roster, right? Like, you see people like Luka and Tatum, like, the stars that are already here are just taking a jump, and it makes everybody else look good because you already had stars like KD and LeBron that were doing their thing because they were established. But now young players are starting to step up. The talent's been here, and I think, especially with people like Tatum and Luka, where they've had crazy performances already, I think them compounded with the already existing older stars, it just makes the league look a lot better. I don't think it's too crazy of a jump.
Bro, based off what you just said, hell yeah, the league is better than it's ever been because the young guys are already more polished than before.
Well,
you got the young guys, and then you got the older guys who are still actually blessing us by being somehow close to their prime.
But it's always been a thing in the league, though. Like, you always gonna have the changing of the guard. That's always a thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's great because this is a point in time where this usually happens in different phases in NBA history, where young players step up and old players still great, but they start to phase out.
I mean, it goes like it's in the video that you sent me earlier, right? Like, right now, there are more players averaging 20 points or more than ever before. Like, this has never happened before.
In that same video, he's talking about. Well, shout out to Legend of Winning for people that are wondering what the video is. Yeah. It's the recent video he put out. But in that same video, like he's talked about, in the last 4 to 5 years, we've had similar numbers in that. And what's going on right now is that innovation, like he said, innovation is at its peak right now. It's from the research of the past 70 years where it's at a peak now, but it's been a thing for a minute now. Because like you said, like the pace is still as high as, like, what he said, I think it was 87, 88. Mm-hmm. And then shot attempts around the same thing. As far as free throws are even, like, down. It's just the fact that players are taking the most efficient shots possible now. And a lot of them are going in because of the way that the defenses are set up. Like, it's nothing extra crazy as far as, like, talent coming in. Again, talent now is like, it's. I think there's a lot more. There's a lot more talent, but yeah, I think we're at a point now to where, like you said, I agree with you. Team construction. There's a lot more well constructed teams now versus early 2000. Plus, like we talked about in early 2000s and before that, pace was down. Pace is, I think, the slowest it's ever been in NBA history from like 2000 to like 2011 maybe, or whenever the Warriors popped off. Or maybe it could be a little bit before that. I gotta do some more research on that, but I know
he popped up around 2013.
Yeah, early 2013. That Kobe AI era, that was like the slowest pace of basketball ever. Just because it was.
I mean, that was also a fun era too, though, man. I mean,
and it was. That's my point. Like, we saw these fun eras in the 2000s where you had like AI, Tracy. It's nowhere near because you don't have the role players doing as much because there's not like I'm trying not to just regurgitate shit from Lowe's video, but like he said in that video, the roles that people had by positions people aren't sticking to them as much. Like, you see shooting guards facilitating, you see small forwards scoring, you see bigs bringing the ball up now, and I think that's where not this final form of basketball, because I think it'll never be at its final form, but we've seen an evolution, and in evolution you're going to see that huge jump like you did in the 80s when Magic brought in that crazy fast break stuff with Showtime, like you did in the mid 2000s where you have Shaq and that post up big. Well, that probably started in like the 90s where the post up big thing was going crazy, and then you saw a transition into the wings with Jordan, Kobe, T-Mac, and AI. Like, every time you see a transition of the guard, you're going to see a huge jump in all that talent because people are copying and emulating what's successful at that point in time and trying to build rosters around that. Same thing you saw with the Warriors dynasty, like the beginning and the middle of the Warriors dynasty.
I mean, seeing it happen is still impressive. Like, I mean,
it is.
I'm never going to discredit what the players are doing right now because they're doing a lot.
It's not discrediting it. It's amazing. It's amazing to see, but I'm saying it's not. Some people, a lot of people are making it out to be like, oh, this is the best the league's ever been. This is the like the best era of basketball going on right now. And it's great. It's great. It's just I think the NBA goes in ebbs and flows of being great and then periods of stagnation. And then I think we're at a time where we're on the other side of that now.
Yeah, but still, it's like it's the way that they're doing it, which is what makes it the best. Whatever you say, the numbers, and the analytics, you can talk about that all day. But nobody is scoring the way the NBA is scoring now. The games aren't the way they are now. They never were back then. Like, yeah, sure, there've been exciting games, and yeah, it was all defense, but yeah, it was just as exciting as this crazy point game, whatever. But you've never seen players do what they're doing right now.
Are you talking about aesthetic wise and like the different ways?
Yes, exactly. That's and like every night, like you're seeing that anybody can do that. You can see a highlight play in any game. You can see a crazy 15-point swing in a game, and that's like a regular shit. Like you're just like, bro, what?
So what highlight or what way are people scoring now that's never been done before?
Bro, just look at any Luka video. Like, and just you're seeing that any night after night, like consistently. Look at a Donovan Mitchell scoring video consistently every night. Like, so you're saying, that's so you're telling me
nobody scored like they scored ever in the history of the NBA?
No, I'm not saying consistently. Like every night, you knew a highlight play was going to happen. Crazy multiples. You knew Luka just had a look off, like behind, like some look off alley-oop pass to Christian Wood. And this is like, okay, but bro, that's like normal. So everyone's like another shit. And don't bring Magic Johnson, like that's still rare. That's rare, but that's Magic.
We just talked about a 1-for-1. So you gave me Luka, I gave you Magic. Who else you want to give me that's doing crazy shit like that as far as passing goes?
Okay.
If we're just talking about passing. Because you give me that.
Okay.
I'll raise you Jason Williams.
Or Jason
Kidd.
Or
Mike Bibby, or I'll give you Mark Price, Pete Maravich. Arvydas Sabonis was a pretty good passer out of the post too. He didn't have as many crazy passes as Jokic, but he was a great passer. Like, you've seen these things before.
Andre Miller.
But highlight culture is at its peak now, so you're going to see more highlights and people are going to glorify certain moments. Because it's media and there's a lot more ability to do so with technology now.
And doesn't that make it, therefore, better than ever before?
Volume doesn't, to me, volume doesn't completely mean quality and better.
But that it's just the exposure that these players are getting now. Mm-hmm. Because it's not just Sumner just said that shit. He's like, bro, we can all hoop, but it's like when a man goes down, now we actually have a chance to play whatever role we're given. So now we have to go out there and be a star in our role and do what we have to do. A lot of these players have this talent.
So now we're talking about team having injuries and a player.
No, we're still talking. No, because we're still talking about the fact that in this day and age of basketball, now players are capable of just stepping into a role and performing at their peak and making the game exciting and turning the game around. It's more highly to happen now than it was back then. Like it can happen with any team from top to bottom of the roster, from the Pistons to the Rockets. Like from the fucking Bucks to the fucking Pistons, I should say. Top or bottom.
Literally within like the last 3 years, like we've seen how many 3-1 comebacks in playoff and NBA history in like the last 5 years of like quick point swings. We've seen T-Mac have a 13-point game swing to win a game. We've seen Kobe have crazy comeback. Like we've seen these things before from players that you could argue are better than the ones right now with like all-time players like Kobe or a T-Mac.
Yeah, and those games are great. But I'm saying, I feel like now we might see those more consistently in today's game. That's what I'm saying. It's like that happened and they have happened, but I'm saying they may happen more consistently because of the way the NBA is going now, this evolution that you're talking about.
No,
that in and of itself makes it more exciting now. I feel like that in and of itself makes it more exciting.
I don't think. Like, didn't you just say before we recorded about like you liking to see tough, grinded out defensive games?
I do. Yeah, I do. So yeah, but that was more so me trolling Otis, as in saying like, bro, nah, I like the defense. I'm in the East. Like I like those gritty games. But shit, I don't even get those. My Chicago Bulls don't play defense. They want to just score the ball. They want to just score the ball.
That's my problem. I think every team kind of has the same identity, or like a lot of them have the same identity. And I'm not saying like I want less scoring. I'd like a balance of whether it's like the reffing, I like letting dudes defend, or trying to adjust some of these rules to where it's not so much of a handicap on defense. Because like if you look at, like, to me, one of my favorite series to ever watch was when the Bucks played Brooklyn. I think not this past year, but like a year or two ago. 21, yeah. When they let PJ Tucker get into KD, like KD was still getting off, but you saw him have to work to get that bucket. Like he couldn't just walk into a pull up or walk into a fade. Like PJ Tucker was able to try to throw him off of his spot, like digging into him. Like imagine fucking Drew Holiday being able to fucking touch somebody on defense, and how much harder somebody's gonna have to work for that bucket. And the crazy shit is they'll let you do that to bigs. Like bigs, you can give them contact, but you can't touch a guard or a wing at all. Because like Giannis is getting double and triple teamed and getting smacked. LeBron infamously gets smacked all the time on drives and shit. But Zion, and you see them play through it, but let Trae Young walk into the paint and get breathed on.
Sniffed it.
You just talked about it with Donovan Mitchell. Let Donovan Mitchell get, like, he got 23 free throws out of that. And what's crazy, in this era, that's not even like the highest free throw attempted error in NBA history. It's like still, I think, like a little, like not significantly, but it's not the max. But people are just getting to the line at a crazy clip, and players have to play accordingly. Which means, what was that? Remember 2017 when Harden was going crazy and dudes were literally trying to guard him with their hands behind their back. You know how wild that is? Like for you, like I can't contest. I have to wait to the last possible second to contest your shot, so you're getting a clear look at the rim and getting time to line your shot up. Like that. That's what I mean. Where it's exciting. The scoring is exciting, but I'm missing the nuance of having like both sides of the ball being there. That's why, to me, I personally believe like defenders in this era are probably a little bit more talented than most other eras for the fact of you have to accommodate for so much.
Yeah, they have to play through the calls. Like the NBA rule book is literally yielded against defenders. So if you can defend at a high level still with that, that's impressive.
And that's why I'm never about, like, when people be talking about Jordan and shit, I don't be getting mad at that, because I see what Jordan had to go through to get buckets for like hand checking being around, with the bigs being clogged in the paint. I'm like, hey, he got them buckets a hard way. It was entertaining. I'm not mad at that when people say that. That's a valid point that I see people say that I'm never mad at, like that being a case for his GOAT status.
No, but I mean, when it comes to the two sides of Charlie versus Zig and this, I'm right there in the middle, because like I mean, we've seen like some of the highs that some of the players are doing. We've seen that earlier, obviously, but it's just that there's more density of players that can do those things, right? There's just every team has a guy that can go off for 30 and 10 a night almost, it feels like. I mean, every team has, almost every good team has two of those guys that can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of talent in the league. It's a lot of it.
There's a lot more, but I also argue that this was a possibility earlier. Like, let's look at somebody like, I think I looked this up for the show in particular. I know we're gonna have this conversation. Can you tell me, I think it was in 2003, how many points Peja Stojakovic was averaging? He was an all-star that year. 23. He was averaging 23 points in 2003, I believe, and was taking, I think, like 3 threes a game. Tell me where you think, and he was, I think he either was he was like top 5 in scoring, I think, in that year, some shit like that. It was like top 10. Where do you think he'd be rated in scoring now in NBA with 23 a game?
25th?
Like 25th, 20, exactly. Yeah. So if he's able to do that so now imagine if he's in this area where he has more spacing, he's like a 6'8" shooter, where he was one of the most efficient shooters ever, and he's doing that on 3 attempts. So imagine now in a league where dudes, like teams are getting up like 23s a game, he's getting, let's say, 5 more 3-point attempts. He has infinite amount more spacing, and he's still 6'8". But he is like averaging at least 27 to 28. Maybe 25, probably. That's probably gassing it. He's probably averaging like 25 to 27 points. That's kind of scoring talent was around back then, but the play style and pace is what's changing. So it's great,
play style, and then also just not having the personnel that could actually like make the rest of the team stretch out. Like there wasn't like a bunch of guys that are going to hit threes that can free up Peja to just have that space to be able to play the game he wants to play. You know what I'm saying?
I think those dudes existed back then. It's just the fact that Peja wasn't shooting an extreme amount of threes because that wasn't the culture. Like the same
way the rest of the team wasn't built with 3-point shooters to give Page that one-on-one space. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, part of that was spacing and pace. I see your point. I see your point with the spacing part.
Real quick. Hold on. Let me just chime in on the fact that the Celtics Nets games is 60-57. Ben Simmons has 5 rebounds, 10 assists, 0 points. Kyrie got 14, leading the team. Who do y'all think is the second leading scorer?
Seth?
No, I'm gonna say Yuta Watanabe.
Yuta? You really believe Yuta would be the second leading scorer?
If Ben has that many assists, Yuta's shooting like 50% from the 3 right now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's hitting him or hitting other shooters up wide open.
TJ Warren.
Okay.
You're close.
I believe that.
You were close with Seth. He has 11. TJ got 13. Yuta got 2.
Oh, damn.
But he's played 13 minutes. I know he's just running around like crazy.
But Yuta's I like Yuta a lot, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
Yuta
even if he's not
running.
scoring, he's still gonna be diving on the floor. He's gonna be making effort plays. So, like, I mean, a guy like that, you like.
Yeah, that's like a Kyle Korver type of dude to me, where he's a threat on 3, and he's not the greatest defender, but he's hustle and effort. That team, man, that team.
They're shooting 47% from 3. The Nets. My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off though.
You said they're up. What was the score again?
Who's 60-60.
It's 57-60. They're losing. They're losing by 3.
No, it's 63-60 now.
Because KD's still out in there.
Fresh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With KD hurt, that's what I'm saying. It's a close game.
It's a close one. I'm so weird now. I feel like regular season games used to mean a little bit more back in the day. Like, it's so hard for me to care about regular season games in the conversation of what team will win in the playoff series.
I've noticed, because you always bring up the playoffs. I could bring up a regular season matchup. Yeah, we could beat this guy, and you always bring up the playoffs. Well, I don't know, bro.
Because you've seen
in the playoffs, man.
In the past, like, decade, again, somebody probably correct me if I'm wrong, but we've seen instances where, like, a team has won a playoff series, or like a young team will like blow the hell out of an established team, and then they get in the playoffs and that team locks in and just demolishes whoever they were playing, whoever like was losing to in that middle of that season.
Yeah, that was literally us last year against Memphis. We didn't beat them a single time in the regular season. Not a
and then it looked like they weren't even a match. Like they weren't even a match for y'all in the playoff series. Like that, it's tough. Like I feel like early in the 2000s or in the 90s, where if you beat them, because you see vets or old heads talk about, oh yeah, they got in their heads, you know, that meant a lot for the morale, the chemistry, da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, it probably meant a lot back then. I gotta look at the numbers to see if it was even like a thing back then. But it just feels like now, like niggas just be kind of on cruise control in the regular season, and when playoffs lock in, they did like dudes are just trying to survive to the playoffs. Honestly, I
really think that's what it is. Because like I mean, with the pace that the players are playing now, like that 82 games has got to be exhausting as fuck, bro. Like
yeah.
I'm just thinking of like games where I would go to like, you know, the gym and play 4 games. It was like, that's the equivalent of 1 game. Like 4 runs in a full court gym is the equivalent of 1 game.
And I'd argue that's part of the reason why injuries are so high right now. Because when you're playing for like an hour, 2 hours in the gym, and you got like a bunch of runs back to back, and you playing hard, you're not gonna like land as carefully. Like you kind of move. You're not moving with precision as much anymore as you're gassed, and it takes you not landing the right time once before you roll your ankle, before you don't run all the way through on something and you get late. I don't know. Like that's part of it to me. Especially when I'm looking at like how Jimmy fell on KD the other night. Like Buddy just was not
bro.
And it's also just because like I feel like with the way basketball is played now, there's so much off-ball movement too for like, you know, a lot of the players that they're putting so much more mileage on their bodies. Like, you know, yeah, I mean,
I don't see too many teams off-ball movement. Yeah,
it's. I mean, of course, my Warriors do it. I mean, Sacramento does a lot of off-ball play. Same thing with like Indiana, Denver, absolutely Denver. But I mean, it's not every team. But there are a lot of teams where you just see like one guy running around all the time, and it's like that accumulates into a lot of mileage on your body, literally, like literal miles.
Jumping in one now. I'd argue it's more the fast break than anything else. Like, cause it's like every highlight you see is like a fast break play, and you like nowadays you'll see it too, where like you're like, I think the other night you seen Jokic had passed it to Aaron Gordon. No. Yeah, he threw like a lob to Aaron Gordon or some shit. And you just saw Jokic like continue to sprint to the paint wide open. Mm-hmm. And Jokic is just like cruising. You telling me nobody got back to stop this 7'3" dude who's not in a full sprint? He's like in a mini gallop, and he was able to pass like a give and go straight to the rim. I'm like, dudes is not running because they just gas because they've been running back and forth on fast breaks over and over again.
Hold up, Dev. Another game, guys. Mm-hmm. Update. OKC versus Philly. Who's winning?
OKC.
Probably OKC. Okay. If you're bringing it up, I'm guessing it's OKC.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys are
the
smart.
Thing is, like, OKC, like, they have a lot of scorers, bro. They have a lot of people that can get buckets on that team.
It's 101-82.
Yeah.
Who's playing on Philly?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Joel's playing. James is playing.
I seen James and Joel like fucking around in the pre-warm-ups, like playing soccer and shit with the basketball.
Is Shea just
they're
like,
not focused.
Yeah, they don't care, bro. Like they're chilling. They're not trying to.
Shea got to be going off. I'm gonna see.
Shea got 27. He got 27.
Yeah. Like that's one team where I'm like both of them with their injury history, they are trying to survive to the playoffs, boy. Because they know if they're healthy going into a playoff series, it is really hard to beat them.
That's not a lie.
Yeah, man.
Especially if they can get home court advantage.
And in that mentality, it's just like annoying. You know? Like it's like fuck.
People people set that tone, like Braun and Popovich set that tone where it's like, bro, these regular seasons, we just got to win enough to make the playoffs. And if we got all my people healthy, we gonna win. And that's usually the formula. Not everybody's adopting it because that's a smart way to go about it. If you're playing with increased pace in 82 games, especially with like seeing all the crazy non-contact injuries, like all these ACLs and Achilles and sprains that have been happening.
Man, so just cut the regular season down 12 games. Like, I don't even think
they're not going to do that because of sponsorship.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, but if the turnaround is quicker, like shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we play again faster, so we get that money back.
I think the solution is kind of take an approach closer to baseball. You know, essentially have a B team ready to let your starters, you know, be able to take rest out every now and then.
That's what they're pretty much doing now. But then you get unlucky like the fucking Lakers, and then like your fucking your role players that are there to take that over, they start to get fucking hurt too. It's like, damn, our role players that were hooping when these niggas out, they get hurt too. You just gotta like I've heard the idea of like the midseason tournament being implemented. I know a lot of old heads and a lot of older people that hate the idea of changing the tradition of the 82 game season. They're against it, which I don't kind of get why, because in the inception of the NBA with like Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, they weren't playing this many games. They wouldn't play that many playoff games, and we give them all their credit for the winning, how way they won. Why is that an issue now with lowering the amount of games?
So with the midseason tournament, what type of format would you want to see with that? Like, just out of curiosity, because I got one in mind, but mine is a little bit unorthodox.
For me, I'd probably want to see. So obviously, you get to midseason and you go off the standings of what they are at that point, and at that point, they're playing for just to kind of make people play make the players play a bit harder, playing for home court advantage. I kind of scrapped the idea of giving home court advantage at the end of the season just to make players want to like play a little bit harder. When it comes to those things, and for team incentive to keep players playing, I probably throw in like the incentive of like probably getting more of a percentage during a draft, maybe a percentage of getting higher picks. Which I mean, it may make shit unfair because then you probably have dominant teams with all the best picks, so maybe that wouldn't make it fair. There'd probably be some ironing out that has to go around there, but that'd be my way of going about it. At least an early draft. Draft up, yeah.
What you think, Stan?
Honestly, I don't know if I'm a fan of the midseason tournament, honestly. Like, to be honest, I think that if players don't care about the regular season, as it is. Like adding, I guess you'll be adding games that matter early on in the season. Hopefully you can get them to play harder, but I feel like you should just do something with the regular season games, make them care about those, to make them actually feel like.
How do you do that?
It won't be money, especially if you stars that you're caring about doing it. The money won't do it.
Yeah, it's not money. You can't fund the players. Like,
can't just be draft picks because the players don't give a fuck about the draft picks if they stars. So to me, it has to be like home court advantage and shit that matters in the playoffs. Yeah, to fix your legacy.
I think to use that incentive for that, like yo, you want to have the most wins in your conference. You want to have the most or whoever can clinch their conference first. Some shit like that. Like some incentive on winning games, and then you can sit out your players. Like have that be an actual reward to your players. Like you can rest your stars now. Anybody who qualified for an All-Star game can get rest or whatever the hell, something like that.
You can stop the season early. You stop it early. You give him more time for rest. So a player that may have torn an ACL probably comes back earlier in the season now because they've had even longer to recover and rehab and shit.
Yeah. So my idea is actually, like I said, it's a little odd, but it's closer to one of the things that Charlie was saying. But I was thinking that you take the teams that didn't make the playoffs last season and host the midseason tournament for in that following season for that draft lottery, essentially. Whatever order you get in that tournament, that's your lottery picks.
I get that. I get that for the for those, like you said, those teams that didn't make it, probably teams that wanted to tank and shit like that. That'll make them want to play harder. But how are you going to incentivize like to start if the players that everybody wants to see, like those top 5 teams that want to play harder and actually play?
I think with 2 things there. Like if you're not necessarily focusing on the top tier teams, that gives them a little bit of chance to rest so they can, relax a little bit. And then it also brings more value to those lower tier teams because you actually have them playing for something and you're watching them on a big stage instead of them just being additives to playing one of the bigger market teams. That's just my thoughts on it.
The biggest reason I need games reduced is the fact that we don't need to have 15 games going on at the same time in a night.
Yeah,
like everybody who has like 4 or 5 teams that are must-watch teams for me, the fact that like 3 of them play at the same time on a night and I have to like jump from game to game, I can't watch them in total, is annoying. Like I love watching Giannis. I gotta watch Luka. Obviously I'm a Laker fan. I'm prioritizing them first, but I gotta choose one of those.
Today you could watch them. You could watch Luka and LeBron together because y'all play them.
Yeah, we're gonna see how that goes. Luka probably about to eat us the fuck up.
See, but that sucks, man. I hate that. I hate because personally, like I still, bro, like, oh man, I watch these games, like, bro, we can win this game, bro. We got this shit. Like Kobe had that mentality, like, man, like, why are you going out there? You're hurt. Why are you still playing? Because, bro, somebody paid to watch me play tonight. I gotta be out there. I gotta hoop. It ain't no damn, bro. This game, man, look, my ankle kind of fragile. I ain't even gonna play. Bro, at least just sit out. Sit out and get a rookie chance, man. Let his ass go hard and try to play, man, or something. Just, cause shit, man, I want to be able to talk shit and my guys actually be like, yeah, my guys tried, your guys tried, I just lost, you won, whatever. But it's just like, man, you could tell them niggas don't be trying sometimes.
A dub is a dub.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
That mentality is stupid to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Kobe's my favorite player of all time, and I admire the fact that he played through them injuries. But I don't want to see no hobble star out there trying to force some shit. If you can't play at your best, like if I'm saving up money to play and to watch Kobe Bryant play, I'm coming to see the Mamba. I'm not coming to see hobble Kobe chuck up shit and not be able to get back on defense or some shit like that. And you, in the effort of you trying to do that while you're hurting yourself even more to where that's even less time people can watch you play because you're out for longer because you're going to get an Achilles tear or some crazy shit that keeps you out. I'm not going to say I love LeBron's approach because I think Bron be like fucking doing the most sometimes, but the fact that when you see Bron play, Bron is going to give you 27-7 and probably sometimes even crazier shit like a 50 or 34-point game. I'm seeing my favorite player do crazy shit because 9 times out of 10 when he's playing, he's healthy enough to do that. I don't want to see a hobble player for shit, especially in a regular season when I want to see you in the playoffs the most because you're my favorite player. I don't want to see you try to do the most in the regular season and then now you out for the entire playoffs when I really wanted to see you compete.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like Charlie said, I want to see you 100% in the playoffs. Like if you got to take a couple regular games off to make sure you're 100% for the playoffs, cool. If you're a team like Jalen Green, you have no excuse, bro. Go ball out every night. But like Steph, you can take an extra game off. Your shoulder hurting a little bit too much, bro. Yeah, sit there.
Even Jalen Green, if I'm a huge Jalen Green fan, if you got you had a huge ankle sprain, do not get out there and try to force it again, because if you roll your ankle again, now you probably got a fracture, and now you out for
the future of the franchise too. So it's like, bro, sit your ass down. But like, still though, it's like I agree with y'all. Not playing. Don't. If you're hurt, bro, don't just don't play. Like, don't even risk that shit. But it's at the same time, like I said, next man up. Like, let the next man get in there. If like go ahead. Hey, look, Rook, it's your time. Get those minutes, or play hard, man. Play hard. Coach them on the bench and shit. Just give me a good show. Like, I want the games to be competitive. I don't want nobody to be out there just to say, look, we just going through the motions, man. We just trying to survive this game. I could see if it's game 70 and y'all already clinched the playoffs, it's like, bro, relax, G. Like, chill out. It's fine.
Game 40 for us, we just lost to the Suns with nobody.
Right. And for people that want to call us snowflakes, I don't like, if it's a finger sprain or some shit that's a minor injury you can play through that shit. But if it's like a major injury that
I don't know, finger sprains, man. If you a shooter, you a dunker. Like Derrick Jones Jr., that man always hurting his hands, bro. You watch this man play, he is always fucking with his hands, bro. Like this nigga, his hand and his knees. He's always like, bro, like I'm just like, bro, are you good, man? Are you fucking good? And you look at the injury report. Oh yeah, Derrick Jones Jr. sprained middle finger. Oh. Yeah, that's what it is.
Maybe that's the Kobe fan in me. I just seen Kobe like pop his finger back in the place. Bitch up. But like shit like that, like that's not going to affect your ability to run, to cut, to jump. You just got to adjust your jump shot at that point. But
I mean, you might not make the same contest. Like you might like, oh, I don't want to hit my finger on that, or I might not reach for the steal because my hand.
Somebody throw a ball hard as hell, and you reach your hand out and jam your finger again. Hey, oh man,
that shit is awful.
But even then, when y'all jam your finger in the actual pickup game, do you sit the fuck out for like an entire game, or do you just like
you just keep playing because you don't feel it. You don't feel it as much until after the game.
Exactly.
I'm gonna still play, but like I'm not about to reach in with that hand, bro. Like I'm not.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. In the game, you good, but then the next game, you're like, oh, bro, my finger now is swollen. You know what I'm saying? Now that motherfucker's stiff. Like it hurt every time somebody throw a ball at it real hard. You know what I'm saying? But I still got to catch this mug.
So don't play it back to back at that point. Then just like if it's not a back to back game, you won't have time to rehab that shit. Like to get over a jam finger. With all that technology and those therapists, physical therapists, and all that shit you got, you can fix. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out of ignorance, possibly because I haven't had that level of degree of a basketball injury. Obviously, as a professional NBA player, but. That shit just like people. If you play basketball at a professional level, let us know in the comments. Let us know. But for me, that shit just seems kind of. I don't want to say soft, but again, like your fingers sprained, bro. Come on now. Regular people play through that shit and be fine after like a day.
You mean, but like if that person is like legit a shooter, that changes their entire game if their shot's not falling. You know what I'm saying?
And then you're dribbling with 3 or 4 fingers.
And find other ways to play though. At that point. On some like that's what good NBA players do. If you're not able to shoot, you're gonna go play even harder on defense. You're gonna fight for a rebound. You're gonna dive for a loose ball. Like you can do something. You don't gotta not play at all. And even then, the jumper, they may not even kill your jumper like 100%. Like again on some Kobe shit. Nigga had the thickest fucking finger wrap I've ever seen to this day.
That's true.
He was still pulling up midi, hitting that shit. Cash over 2 defenders. And again, that's not to compare everybody.
That's a big ask.
Everybody doesn't have to be Kobe, but if he can do that on pull-ups and contested, I'm like, if you wide open for a catch and shoot, yeah, bro.
You're a professional shooter, man. If your shooting finger is dislocated, you better pop it in, put some tape on it, and shoot over 2 niggas. I don't care. That's what Coach Dev is saying. Shooting Coach Diesel.
And there's gonna be that one play where his finger hurt. Oh. I'm gonna make sure I contest extra hard on that one finger to make sure that he know not to put that shot up again. Because that's how niggas do.
You gonna follow him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
If I'm in a game and I see, you limping to your right side, guess which way I'm going?
You don't got an NBA ref though. A nigga try to push you on that one, you probably getting a flagrant.
Maybe he might call it.
Back in the day, you could do that. Like what Kobe talked about, fucking with AI or T-Max back and shit. You could do that back in the day. You're not doing that today, especially with as much as niggas get on CP3 about sneaky plays and people can see him doing that shit. You is not about if a player got a on fucking Luka and the Clippers when fucking Marcus Morris was stepping on the back of his heel and shit. Like niggas saw that shit and they've been calling him dirty ever since then.
No bums, but I mean, my example is if I see somebody limping, I'm driving to that side that they're limping now. Like, that's normal. That's like, I mean, if I know somebody is nursing an injury, am I going to play lighter towards them, especially if they come into the paint?
No, they're playing. You don't need to.
All right.
It'd be disrespectful not to give your 100% effort, even if they hurt. If they're playing, that means they're healthy enough to play. But hey, people know their body's the best. If you don't feel like you're capable of playing, don't play. But I'm just thinking out loud, I guess. So I could be wrong. It's a case of
Ben almost got a pointless double-double, by the way.
You said what?
Ben almost has a pointless double-double.
But 5 points, 10 boards, 10 assists?
Nah, no points. Like, I literally meant pointless. Like, eight
what's
rebounds.
The third stat? Is it a turnover?
He has
or
8
block?
rebounds. Nah, he has 8 rebounds and 12 points. Or 8 rebounds, and 12 assists.
It's
double-double. Yeah.
I was about to say, you said a triple-double, I thought.
No, I thought I said a point. Yeah, I said a pointless double-double. Hey,
okay. My bad. I'm old and shit.
No, shit, I'm old too. I was like, don't tweet me out, bro. I might have. Yeah, okay.
Let's get into early MVP. Let's get into the MVP voting. Because I think this is MVP has been tighter and tighter, I feel like, every year going on. But like you guys said, where players are being more efficient and scoring at a higher clip on a high increased pace. Numbers are looking crazier, but everybody has these crazy numbers now. So it's even harder to. And then for me, the differentiation, if I'm saying that shit right, is always the defense and efficiency for me. That niggas call me a stat nerd for that, but I don't think that's too complicated. It's like, nigga, are you taking a bunch of crazy shots that aren't going in, and are you playing defense? Mm-hmm. Like, are the shots you taking going in? Simple as that. I'm probably gonna lean towards Tatum this year.
Oh wow, I'm surprised you said that. That was my pick.
Yeah,
I have 3 picks.
I picked him before the season. I mean,
as of right now though, but that could change depending on if a player. Now I ain't gonna lie, if Luka can get like the 4th or 5 seed, I may go Luka. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I won't argue that at all.
Because you doing what you're doing and getting them wins with the roster not being anywhere near as competent, that's impressive, my boy. Because like what Tatum's doing is impressive, but he also has one of the
best team in the league. Honestly,
yeah, like the perfect
roster-wise, the best team.
You got rim protectors, you got secondary scorers, you got playmakers to get you in your perfect spot. Luka is just Luka. And if it was just him getting numbers, I won't give it to him. But if he can get wins and get those numbers, where he's shooting efficient and shooting in high volume, and then he's not terrible on defense, which I'm asking you this honest question. Do you believe Steph Curry is a better defender than Luka Doncic this season?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't gassing shit. I wasn't tripping. Because I had a whole debate with this dude in the chat. I got told that I don't watch basketball. I'm looking at that. But yeah, bro. Buddy is not he's not chopped liver on defense. He's staying in front of people. He's riding them to the rim and preventing defensive collapses at the rim. And he's able to secure that defensive rebound off of those. Not to an elite amount on some Giannis shit, but he's able to do it a lot better than he was the previous years.
I think Steph, IQ-wise, does more things than Luka. But like one-on-one defense, I mean, Luka can guard 1 through 4 for the most part. Steph is guarding 1s and 2s.
Even on off-ball shit, like when you want to look at, like if people want to go the Allen Iverson route, talking about like his off-ball steals and shit like that, I could be wrong. I got to look it up again, but I think Luka's averaging more steals than Steph on top of that too.
Not just talking about steals. Like Steph will legit. Okay, my this big is sliding down to this corner. I'm gonna switch my defense with my man's defense right here. Like he's legit navigating the Warriors sometimes on that defensive set. So I give him credit for that. But like actually, like one ball defending off. I got to check the steals numbers because I don't know about that. I mean, Steph does his thing there, but
we can check it. Plus, I will also say, not giving him 100% credit, but you do also have Draymond that directs traffic a lot, and we know he's a very vocal leader on defense, but helping guys stay in the rotations and stay where they need to be at.
Yeah, I mean, when Steph was still there, like their main thing they would do is actually pull Draymond out the lineup early, let him run with the second unit. That's how we started to get close to 500 because we're not at 500 right now.
Yeah, is Draymond closing games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just checking.
Oh yeah, there'll never be a time where Draymond's not closing.
Mm-hmm. Also, side note, what was it? I was on shout out guys at ALW. I was on my guy Jordan's basketball show that he's doing on Saturdays now. This past
when we had on here?
Yeah, that Jordan, yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a whole debate on, I think he agreed with me on SGA being better than Jordan Poole. I don't know why. This is a huge debate. I don't know why. And one of the guys in the chat was talking about, his point was, he said if SGA were to go to the Warriors, that he would not start over Klay Thompson. I was like, he was on crack rock. Oh my God.
I mean, I will continue the argument saying that Jordan Poole is better than Austin Reeves, because he is.
I mean,
but SGA is probably like the fifth best player in the league right now.
My thing, he couldn't have been serious. I think maybe he said that Klay Thompson comment because like he thought like Klay, has seniority, he's part of the dynasty and all that. That has to be
54-point game the other day too.
It couldn't have been it's the talent. No, he was saying, Klay has tenure there. So Klay
he also said SGA wasn't a superstar, so that's I'm also like
he's getting there. Yeah, he's getting there.
If he was doing what I think he's like, is he number one in scoring or like he's like top?
He's number 5. He's number 5. He's averaging 30 with no threes, bro. Like
30, no threes, and he's doing it on like damn near 50, 40, 30.
And he about to get the Sixers. He about to get the Sixers out of there by himself. And you can say, I don't care. Nah, that's still a slap in the mouth if I'm Joel and James Harden. I mean, whatever. Sure.
It is.
And that's tough.
That's what that Thunder team next season, regardless of whether they get a high pick or not in this draft, is a problem. Be worried about them.
I won't say that out front. I mean, be worried they're going to be a problem.
Okay, Dev, why not?
I got to see them. I mean, they obviously got to play together because there's going to be a really unorthodox lineup because you're going to have. I don't think they're going to get Victor. I think they're going to be. Maybe they may.
They're not.
But
I think the Spurs gonna get him, man.
You got SGA, you got Giddey, you got Chet Holmgren. You still have. Well, I think they're gonna keep Lou Dort. I think they
Pokusevski.
I think they moving Pokusevski. I ain't gonna lie to you because I don't think they playing him as much.
It's kind of redundant too to have him in Chet.
I would love Pokusevski coming off the bench.
That would be very nasty. Yeah, you don't lose nothing. It's the same player.
That's just. I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but I gotta see it in action because it's gonna be a really weird lineup with like a 7-footer that like you're gonna have 3 guys that can handle the ball. You got who's gonna defer to who's gonna take the less shots.
SGA takes the most shots.
I'm gonna say SGA take all the shots.
He may now depending on how Chet. Now if Chet's better than that dude coming out, I don't know yet because we've seen him hurt. I don't know how good he's going to be.
I feel like SGA at this point in his career where he's like, bro, please hit these shots. Please, bro, just hit the shots. And Chet finna be like, bro, they're already cool. Him and Giddey are already cool. I just feel like, SGA finna be like, look, man, just let me get my buckets, bro. We're here to win. Finally, we're here to win.
I'm just not the guy. I'm just not the type to where insert like even when it comes to like teams like they get all their healthy players back. To me, it doesn't automatically mean they're going to be even better because you still have to adjust and work them into that.
Yeah, because I thought the Hawks were going to be much better than they were. Like even with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray and all that.
It's because there's turmoil there. Okay, it's because they are not happy as an organization, bro. Like Trae Young and Nate are just like not on the same page right now. Like
they say he contemplating retirement, bro. That's how much they're stressing that man.
That's what I'm saying. Like one of them is gone before the season is over.
And it's probably gonna be Nate.
I'm gonna say it's Nate, bro.
It better be Nate.
If you move Trae, bro, that's tough.
If they do trade, that is one of the biggest failures in NBA history because you gave up
somebody getting fired.
You gave up Luka Doncic for him. If he's gone, hang it up.
Is it really one of the worst failures?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, didn't who was it? They passed up. I think who took Odin as number one? Was it Portland?
Portland. Yeah,
they took Odin over KD. And Odin didn't even play in the league after he played how many years in the league?
And that's crazy to think about because Odin was still in the league.
Then somebody picked.
Year? I thought
that's what I'm. That's crazy. Right?
That went over KD.
Was that him or what year was? I thought they were in the same draft. I could be wrong.
Oh,
or fucking when Portland didn't take Jordan. Who did they take over Jordan?
Who knows?
Like I don't think it's the worst one because they still got a bunch of competitive playoffs. They got some competitive playoff years. They're probably going to get a bunch of draft picks out from Trey because if you trade and Trey, you getting a lot of shit back because of his production.
Unless he walks. Well, no, he's got a while to walk.
Yeah, he is not walking. Yeah. If they let him walk for nothing, that front office needs to be fired. They need to get rid of everybody.
All of them.
Do not do what they did with Julius Randle and fucking
who is balling right now. Actually,
that hurts me to this day. We let that man walk and then gave Mozgov and fucking Luol Deng money to not play.
Do y'all think this latest run from the Knicks is real? Do you think this is what they really look like? I think this is a flash.
I think they look like that for real. I think they're still was waiting on like players to develop. I believe RJ Barrett's gonna be the best player in that team eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Julius Randle because he's been playing phenomenal, and a lot of people have been shitting on him for like the last 2 years.
You see, he started playing the best when RJ went out, though.
I think that's more of a coincidence because whenever they're playing together, that defense on that team goes up. I believe so.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Defensively, RJ, I like RJ. Honestly, I think he's a good player. I think he's a good fit for the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how, like, just because of how Julius Randle plays, how RJ Barrett plays, and how Jalen Brunson play, it's going to be hard offensively getting all of them to click at the same time, I think.
I think most of it lies in Randle, though, just because Randle is not a very good off-the-ball player at all. Like, if Randle could, like, play off the ball a little bit more, or if RJ could just polish his game a little bit more off the ball to capitalize on the shots he hits when he's getting catch and shoot opportunities, I think that's when they'll maximize it. But I think it's the fact that all three of them are on the ball scorers, and we've seen Brunson play off ball because he's played with Luka, but those other two just don't play the best off. But again, Barrett could be a little bit. He could be on some PG shit where like he blossoms in like his 6th year.
True.
It could
and
be.
Then, I mean, even with Julius this season, at least, like especially during this run, I mean, Brunson's been finding him in his spots. You know, he likes to get to that mid-range spot on that left block.
Does he finally have a right hand?
No.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, Julius is not.
The thing is, he's like Brunson is finding him in those spots where he can, just use that left, and it's been working. So I mean,
I don't know that works in the playoffs though. If you're the number one,
it's not working in the playoffs.
Because what was I think even in that Atlanta series, they literally just made him go right every time, and he was just forcing his left hand no matter where he was driving. He was just the left hand off. I'm like, bro, you look like me playing in the park right now.
Bully.
Again, I think Atlanta's also really missing Kevin Huerter, man. I think he spread out that offense to let Trey be able to do all the stuff that he does. And
that pissed me off. I'm like, y'all just gave him up for what?
Nothing. It's like y'all really disrespecting Kevin Huerter. Like I mean, he's
I'm
not gonna say like he's like some type of superstar player that like automatically just changes your team, but like he is a fantastic compliment.
Isn't he though? Hey, I'll say Sacramento hooping something.
Because look, because I'm over here thinking he's over there. Yeah, he's over there at Sacramento. Like he's what Sacramento's been missing since Buddy Hield.
Put that headband on and never look back, boy.
Like man.
He makes De'Aaron Fox look so good just because you cannot double him.
Yeah, don't. Okay, I was about to say we about to just lower. I'm
not taking a shot at D Fox. I mean he's balling this season, like absolutely. But it's partially because like you cannot.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, you cannot double him at all. Really, that team, all shooters, all of them.
Yeah, I gotta look to see where I gotta look to see where Davion Mitchell's shooting right now. I think he's shooting a lot better too. I gotta check though. I'm not.
Yeah, he's been struggling a little bit, but I mean, he's like when he's out, he's still facilitating that team and then also playing really good defense, man.
Bro, his defensive highlights be insane because he be switching from player to player to player and be going.
Like, and not just little dudes. Like, I've seen him get on forwards and be like, snatch, thank you, we going down court.
Hey, some Georgia boys, man. What can I say, boy?
That's credit, man. I give the Kings a credit because I did not have them being fourth in the West right now at all. I had them like getting to the play-in, but fourth, nah.
Yeah, it's tough.
For the season, Davion is shooting 31% from 3 on 2 attempts, so he's not shooting too well. But he is. It's. I ain't gonna say it's acceptable. It's not even league average, but I don't know. It is what it is. It's not terrible, but it's not good at the same time.
All right. How y'all feeling about the Clippers right now? I'm curious what y'all think.
The Flippers.
Hey man, chill out, bro. My phone is gonna die, but let me say this, man, because I want to make sure I get this in here, Dev.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the Clippers, man. I believe in them. It's Kawhi. Kawhi's a machine. The sample sizes I've seen of him coming back, man, he looks good. He's imposing his will on the game. PG, it's how well can he play Robin? Because it's like, honestly, he's Nightwing at this point, and this is Batman Beyond Batman, and from Kawhi, and they just got they're the engine of that team. They're deep as hell. The bench guys are gonna play, but they're only as good as Kawhi and PG, man. Like, but I do believe in the Clippers. They're my third favorite team in the NBA.
That's the most disappointing trade in the last 4 or 5 years.
Which one?
The Clippers trade for PG and Kawhi.
I guess we lost then. I mean, if it does not pan out, then I absolutely agree. But I think this is a good year to try to make that push. Because again, there is no team that has like thoroughly solidified themselves as the definitive lead in the West, in my opinion.
I think leads, yes. Favorites, no. Leads, yes. Like they're like 3 to 4 teams that are like solidified their playing ability to be like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if they go all the way. Like I won't be surprised. But as far as like them being the favorite to go all the way, I don't think there's a favorite. But I think there's like 4 teams that are like leads. The top 3 to 4, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if the Clippers made it to the finals this year, it wouldn't shock me.
It would me. Especially they run into Luka again. I think Luka. Hey, if they play Luka again, I think Luka got their ass.
Did you just see what the Clippers did to them the other night?
Yeah, like we said, playoffs is something completely different. I ain't gonna lie to you. Luka in the playoffs. Have you seen Luka's playoff numbers?
I have.
Luka playoff numbers is like Jordan-esque. It's insane.
I've also seen Luka's regular season numbers this year, and he didn't do that. He didn't do that to them that game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that game, yeah. But we ain't gonna act like he don't be busting their ass in the playoff series they've had. It's taken one series them like purposely trying to hurt him. Literally, it's like stepping on this man's heel to stop him. And then even when they were double teaming the man in the series before, they barely could stop that man.
I mean, the previous 2 times they played and those series were contested, it was like Luka had another guy there that you had to like at least somewhat worry about.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean, Porzingis was playing.
Y'all gassed Porzingis. I don't know why y'all gassed that man so much. What is he doing this year in the Wizards? That boy is playing like boo-boo.
Is he like 24 and some change? Check
that boy is getting bullied on the defensive side of the ball. He is getting bullied so bad. And then I think is the fifth. Let me look at his numbers real quick.
Where are the Wizards?
Because they went on that. What was it? They went on like a 9-game losing streak, and they were just playing like ass.
Yeah, maybe that's what Brad Bill was out. Kuz was out for part of that. He's back now, thankfully. But I mean,
was he out for a lot of that? It looked like he played for majority of that because his numbers went up.
He was he missed a couple games in that skid.
2023.
Let's see what Porzingis is averaging.
Porzingis is
22, 2 and where's his board? 9. Wait, no, that's our last 10. Where's this season? 22, 2 and 9. Yeah, 47% from the field and 33 from 3. Sheesh.
He just shoot he in volume. He's shooting he's just shooting it. I'd be like, I hate when old heads be complaining so much about big shooting threes, but Porzingis is taking that shit to the extreme. Where he doesn't even try to get anywhere near the post, and when he posts up at the free throw line. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, bro, you were 7'3", at least get a little hook or something. You don't got to shack niggas, but
he was like, I am Dirk. I am bigger Dirk.
And there's no reason I see LeBron and little guard, little smaller wings back him down so easily. They just be taking him to the rim. I'd be like, bro, you is 7'3". Why are you getting bullied that bad?
I mean, it's a mentality thing for one, and then I just don't see Kristaps as a guy that hits the weight room to bulk up himself to stop that. I just don't see him as that person.
I don't even know
LeBron is gonna tank through everybody.
Somebody even somebody like Luka. Luka doesn't look like he's lifting like crazy, but you don't see Luka get back down to the paint.
Luka also has significantly lower center of gravity, and he's just
Luka 6'10".
Luka's 6'8".
6'8".
They're 6'7", honestly.
I don't know, but Luka look tall as shit. I ain't gonna lie. Luka be looking big, bro.
He just plays big because he strong as shit and moves people around. Luka's not a weak dude. Part of the reason why he can score the way he does because he's literally bouncing people off of him.
I want to compare. Then we had a whole conversation about him playing better next to Luka versus playing at Washington. So I want to look at like you said, he's doing 22.
But that's also with no Bradley Beal because Beal's been in and out of the lineup this entire season. No consistency with anybody in that team. I thought they were going to be a little bit better than they were and healthier than they were. Because right now Kristaps is day to day himself.
Yeah, bro. I don't know, bro.
When they started off the season fully healthy, they went on a pretty nice run. And just that stopped quickly.
Even with Brad Beal, didn't they get their ass busted when Brad Beal was back the other night?
I mean, Rui is the X factor of that team.
He is
for real.
Honestly, Rui, I'm probably starting Rui. Is Rui starting? Or is he coming?
Yeah, I think he is now. But they got Goodwin Jr. looks nice too. They might sign that man.
Yeah. Goodwin Jr. looks KP. Like I said, KP is a great role player. I'm just not counting him as my first, second, or third option. If I can break him off the bench in stints where I need scoring and spacing, perfect. But I'm not counting on him to be my second and third best scorer.
How many fives that can give you 20 plus points a game though?
Right now in the league, do we want to go down that list?
Yes. At the 5, yes, we can go down that list. Absolutely.
Most of is he playing the 5 or is he still 4? I think he's still listed as a 4.
He's a 5.
Dude's been playing the 4. I think he's been listed as a power forward since he got into the NBA. I know he played the 4 in New York.
Let's look where he usually plays. Let's see. I'm almost certain he's played the 5 like this in the entire season. Not even seen a second at the 4.
He's listed as a forward center second. I'm assuming he's second because he came second. Because he's been playing the 4 for majority of his career.
Yeah, Gafford has been playing majority of the 5. You're right.
Yeah, he doesn't play the 5 like that. So I can now forwards. I can give you a bunch of forwards that can give you 20 a game on better efficiency and probably better shooting, and not get babied on defense.
Go ahead. Let's give me these forwards that's averaging 20 consecutively. Paolo Banchero, Julius Randle, Lauri Markkanen, Pascal Siakam, KD, and Giannis. That's it.
How many players was that?
6.
6 players. 20. It is points per game. Okay, we not counting LeBron because LeBron played before.
If you want to count, that's 7.
7. You said Pascal. We said Lowry. You said Julius. De'Aaron. I mean, I guess we can. Well, I'm not gonna count Jeremy Grant. It's pretty much 20, but I'm not gonna count Jeremy. Bam's the 5. I think he's playing the 5 this year. I don't know if they play him the 4 this year or not.
He's been playing 5. And honestly, fantastically, he's like the one consistent spot on that team because Jimmy's in and out.
Yeah, I mean, I could say Franz Wagner as well. Oh no, he's a 3. He's playing a 3. Never mind. I'm not gonna say him because I will say on a lot of these guys too, on these 4s that we're talking about too. Like you said, their roster's not injury prone, so they're not getting as many shots as KP is getting up. So I'm looking at guys that are also at the 4 giving you like 18 to 17. I'm giving them 4 or 5 more shots that KP is getting. They're most likely averaging 20 on better efficiency.
I mean,
OG and Anunoby.
They're not.
So you tell me OG can't? If you give OG and Anunoby 4 more shots, he can't go from 18 to 22.
But he's not gonna get that because Evan Mobley exists.
OG and Anunoby?
OG and Anunoby? Oh yeah.
I'm not Evan Mobley and Anunoby.
Yeah. No, I was getting him confused with
Evan Mobley, yeah. Evan Mobley.
Okoro. I was getting him confused with Okoro. Yeah.
Is he playing a 4? I thought he was a 3.
No, he's playing a 3. Yeah. OG and Anunoby, he's not gonna get that because of Pascal. And Pascal's having like a great season. He's balling.
Yeah, but I'm saying if Pascal goes down and he has to take 4 more shots to make up for that scoring, his jump is going to go from 18 to at least 20 something.
Possibly.
Not possibly. I can guarantee you, if he gets 4 more shots a game, because he's shooting.
But is he going to get those 4? Or are they going to go to a combination of like Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, and Freddie?
I'm pretty sure he's like the 2nd highest scorer in that team. Let me look at the Raptors. Toronto Raptors. So he's the 1, 2, 3. He's the 4th highest scorer, and then literally the only difference between him and the second option is like 0.2. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm looking at attempts a game, do they have the attempts on ESPN? No, they don't. OG, let me look at OG's attempts, Basketball Reference.
You can go to the splits and then it shows attempts. It should at least. Oh no, it doesn't. It shows the percentage.
So his attempts per game, field goal attempts, he's attempting 14 a game right now. 14.5
versus
18. Kristaps. Kristaps averaging 15.4.
So,
and that's not counting the stretch where, again, like the 9 games where you said Brad Beal was out and he was getting no shots. You said Brad and you said
out. Yeah, Kuz was out too for that. Yeah, for parts.
The first and second leading scorer are out, and they're starting him, and he's making up for. Let me look at the last couple.
Getting literally 1 more shot a game, and there's that much of a difference.
I'm gonna look at the last couple games. Let's look. That stretch was how long? Let me look at the 9-game losing streak. The Wizards, KP got 16 that game. Kuzma played that game though. Kuzma played that game.
Both Kuz and Bill played against y'all. Am I wrong? Were they playing?
Yeah, I told you I thought they were playing majority of that time.
You're right.
And on top of that, what we're not accounting for is the 3-point attempts too. Because OG is not shooting. Look at me go back to see, but I doubt he's shooting the same amount of threes.
No, he's not. I think he's shooting a higher percentage though.
Yeah, he's shooting less attempts and then he's finishing at the rim better, and he's playing exponentially better defense. like I said, there's a bunch of players. It depends on a bunch. There's at least 7 to 10 players that are going to give you what KP's giving you on better efficiency.
But they're not doing it
because their teams are better. Now you put them on bad teams, they're gonna do it. It's not like I'm saying the player. If it was a player that was averaging 6 points a game or averaging 10 points a game, and it was that you just
all these scenarios are a thing that but they aren't though.
So
we're taking like right now they're not happening.
Matter of fact, let me go last year. I'm gonna go last year in Toronto and see what Buddy was averaging last year.
I can almost guarantee you there's never been a time where OG Anunoby has averaged more points than.
Because Buddy had a mean stretch last year. He was averaging 17 last year. Because Buddy's had it like, but I had him for fantasy last year, and he had a stretch for like 11 to 12 games. He was averaging like 25 for like a whole month or 2 months. Because Buddy had me on fantasy going crazy. So if he's giving you months like that, where he's giving you 25,
but he's not
people being out, he's done it before. That's what I'm saying in a stretch
right now
for his overall averages. Yeah.
But he's not doing it currently. And if he could do it consistently, he would.
The whole conversation we were having was hypotheticals of players that could give you that.
No,
I'm thinking he can give you
that. I said, who's giving you that right now?
I said I could give you 6 to 7 players that could give you that.
No, you said you can give me 10 players.
Oh, 10. Oh, okay, we even said 10 because you said 6 to 7, and then we rang off like 3 more that are playing the 4 now. OG and
we ran off 1, and that was LeBron. So that took it to 7 because it was 6.
And then I said OG, which I guess you disagree with OG.
But he's not there though. He's literally not giving you 20 points. He's not doing it, which was 2 points less than what I've added with what.
Yeah, and the point was like, he can give you 20.
Was, who's giving you that at that 4 spot? And it's 6 people.
7, because you're not including LeBron.
Oh yeah,
7 that are doing it actively right now, and the other players I said that can do it are dudes that have 18,
but they're not.
So if you give them literally 2 more shots, he needs 1 more shot, and he's getting 20 a game.
He's averaging 1 less shot.
Yes, he's averaging 1 less shot, and that's
like not close.
2 less points. He's 18.
He's averaging 17.
No, right now OG's averaging 18.3 points a game. So he's technically averaging a little bit more than 18.
Yeah, 18.3. You're right. 18.3
on 1 less shot. So if I give him just
4 less points, 4 less points on 1 less shot. Yes, 4 less points on 1 less shot.
Yes, and we talked about how many threes is he averaging?
He's
averaging. Just
not the criteria. I don't know why we're having this conversation still because he doesn't fit.
He fits the criteria,
but he doesn't because he's not the criteria. 20. We were asking how many people were averaging 20. He doesn't do it.
He fits,
but he's not though.
That's like when you talked about Jordan Poole being able to average 25 a game. He's done this shit before,
but he's not going to get more though.
Yeah, my phone is finna die.
The whole debate was hypothetical. It is what it is. We had a hypothetical.
It's not a hypothetical.
We having a hypothetical conversation
right now, and
yes, and we were having a hypothetical conversation.
But we weren't. I said, who's doing it now? I'll run
the footage back.
Please run the footage back.
I'll run it back.
I said, who's doing it right now?
I'll run it back.
Yeah, you can double check, but you're wrong. So Stans, you're finishing up. You want to wrap it up? Go ahead, buddy.
This just reminded me of the Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp segment.
It's my turn now. It's my turn.
That was so fucking hilarious. But yeah, only because my phone is finna die, I'm gonna cut that short.
Wild.
Let's clip it. Part 2 of Game Chat, where we settle this debate of who was right. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us, and I hope y'all were entertained and excited about the NBA just like we are. I'm looking forward to the playoffs, apparently. Let us know, man. How do y'all feel about the regular season? And what do y'all think should be done to spice it up, to make it relevant again, to get players more engaged if you feel like they aren't? Yeah, this was another episode of Game Chat, and I'll see y'all next week, man.
Austin Reeves for MVP.